Should be good to go. So if there's one thing that we've seen with this team, we talked about chemistry last time you were here, and then we talked about it post game, but you got some veterans, they look like they're having fun.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that that's something that Tasha was really looking forward to, but Diana even, especially after last year, are you picking up on that, obviously?
Yeah, I think coming into the year with a new group, you never know how teams are going to come together. And I could feel it from Sophie and BG and DT just the last couple of years of they've had some tough times. So I know that the way they were preparing is for a fresh start, and they kind of got a shot in the arm once Cloud showed up and Ka showed up. And the fun thing is we've got a veteran group even with Beck. They've been around, they've seen a lot of different situations. They're comfortable, they're in their own skin. I think they know that they need each other, and that's important, and especially when things get tough. And we've been put in some situations where we get down and we haven't pointed a finger. There's been not a lot of doubt, there's more belief, and that's a good way to go about things when you're trying to win games.
How much do you credit that to San Diego?
I would say quite a bit. Taking this job and sharing a facility with the Suns, it's their time, right? It's the playoffs. And so one of Nick's first suggestions was for us to kind of get out of their way a little bit. And it was my first experience doing a destination training camp. Typically in the NBA with 82 games, I was never a fan of it just because that's another week to 10 days you're away from your family. But with such a new group here and a shorter season, I would recommend it again. Just the nights, going to the baseball game, going to different things, just, together, dinners, talent shows, all those fun things that, usually after training camp practice, you just want to get home and rest. But to get out of the hotel room, they spend time together. We spent time together as a staff, players. It was something I always remember, about the first year here for sure.
Coach Willie talked about how much fun, and fun brings connectivity,
Yeah.
which is vital with
Right.
the defense that you play. How have you incorporated the multiple defenses and how each teammate is connected?
Yeah. Well, it makes it easier when you've got competitive players, right? And, to me, we've got one of the most competitive ones in our league in Tosh Cloud. And so her versatility and just the belief of the others, knowing that we're going to have help. Again, that's something we've spent a lot of time in training camp, and even these practices. They're probably getting tired of doing the shell drill, but it's like shooting to me. You need to do it over and over and over again, and it's got to be at a good pace, and they've bought into it. And we're going to get challenged again tonight defensively. We know that to be a good team in this league, you gotta do both. I mean, there's no hiding from that, and we've got some people that take a lot of pride in that end, and we need that.
And Diana Taurasi at 42 years old,
Yeah,
has come in and looked like she found the fountain of youth. How do you manage that minutes so that she can play with that energy throughout the whole season?
Yeah, I mean, credit to her. Just her work ethic and approach is second to none. I mean, what I saw her do in the off season, I was just blown away by her approach. I mean, she's addicted to it. She loves it. Being the greatest is lonely. She's doing things that others don't or haven't done. And so, it's a big part of our discussion organizationally, especially for her in the Olympics. We want to manage her minutes, and that falls on conversations with DT and her believing in us and seeing the big picture. So, her minutes are probably going to be down compared to where they've been at other times trying to avoid just winning games and more focused, like, can we keep her healthy long term?
Hi, Coach. Obviously not a coach here, but it does feel like from the outside looking in, so much of coaching is kind of blending your own personal ideals and tailoring it to the personnel that you have.
Yeah.
And so obviously I don't think you were expecting to have BG out this early in the year, but with this group, with the spacing, inverting your actions, multiple defenses, how close is this group to like your personal ideal, or what has the balance been?
Well, my personal ideal was that BG would be in there. But it's kind of forced us to change. I think the fun part and the frustrating part for us and BG is how excited she was and we were to, showing her playing on the perimeter a little bit more, and then finding post-ups at different times. But yeah, it's definitely forced our hand 100% to play smaller, maybe quicker than we wanted to. But when we do that, we've got players that know how to play and move, and they've committed to the defensive end. I think we've got 6 players averaging 5 rebounds or more, which is kind of what we've talked about is we need to do it as a unit, and defensive rebounding was a big one, and they've bought into that, and we need to continue with that.
Thank you.
Hi, Sophie Cunningham talked earlier about charter flights and how you weren't able to charter on the way here, but you plan to charter, I guess, after this game. How was that process? I guess, communication with the league and like logistically, what's your impression of how it's all gonna look going forward?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably more of like a league front office question. I have not been in those discussions. I'm thankful the charters are here. I'd much rather getting home to my family tonight than tomorrow. So I'm excited about the charters. I know that there's probably things that the league and the teams are working through. But we're just thankful that it's coming, at least me personally.
Coach, I know you weren't here last year, but Copper really fits what was sort of a hole in Phoenix's offense and maybe defense last year. I just wonder if you could assess how well you think she's played so far for the team this year.
I mean, she's been unbelievable. Everything we've hoped for. Give Nick and our front office credit for getting that deal done. You want to be good in this league, any league, you need great players, and she's one of them. And so she's a two-way player. It's going to take time for her to kind of figure out her spots offensively. It's my job to help her feel more comfortable in different spots, but I think her talent took over in the fourth quarter the other night, and she carried us to a victory. We were in a tough spot, and she really stepped up, and we needed all of it.
If we can piggyback on Tally's question, and I understand the league has to work through whatever they're doing, but at the same time, Sophie did say that as thankful as the team is, there's also different charters. They're not together. Bags are going on one. How is that in terms of managing the ladies? You're supposed to be able to enjoy this, but at the same time, it sounds like there are concerns with still working through those logistics.
Yeah, I try to focus on the positive. That's kind of my approach on things. And so it's probably not where the players are, we want it right now. But I, believe in the league. I think we'll get it figured out. They just made the decision a week ago. So trying to get planes in place and all that stuff. So again, I'm excited it's coming. I think it's going to help the product on the floor. Just less days and losing days of your lives in those airports, So we're going to get there. It's probably not there yet, but we're headed in the right direction for sure.
We're going to finish with one on Zoom. Justin, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Earlier today, Natasha Mack mentioned that she's basically a rookie. And so far with Brittany Griner out, obviously, she's had to take on a lot of the defensive bull. So How does that sort of speak to her maturity, and what does that say about Mac both as a player and as a person?
Mac has been unbelievable for us defensively. That's one of her gifts. Just letting her kind of be who she is at that end and block shots and deflections and steals. So kind of putting some guidelines or kind of what we wanted. But just, to make it in this league at times, there's got to be opportunities given. And what an opportunity for her, unfortunately, with BG's injury. Obviously, it's just 2 games. It's a small sample size. But she's going to continue to get minutes. And there's been people that have been given opportunities and aren't ready for the situation or the opportunity. And so far, she's stepped into it. She's got great veteran leaders around her to love her up and support her for any questions or concerns. But yeah, she's been great. She's been a really good screen setter, which we need, and I think she's getting in better shape as we get going here.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.